Hey guys, welcome back to the BAC 5 RR. This is part 2 of our continuing trip. We're headed, we already departed Oakland. We're headed through East Oakland right now, working on a restricting signal. So that's why we're kind of going a little slow here. And again, this train is going to do a little work here at Fremont and continue on to Stockton. These are some of the industries here in East Oakland. We got Mother's Cookies there just underneath the bridge, bringing sugar off to the right there, and we got some corn syrup coming in off the left in the tank there. Yeah, since we're working on a restricting signal, no faster than 20 mile an hour. Of course, this track is only 20 mile an hour track here, working on the old it's the old WP Oakland sub, as I mentioned in the first video, and this will reconnect just south of this location, San Leandro. We cut back into the Niles and we're going to cross over to the coast sub, head down to the coast to Fremont. And got a little work there off to the new, newly refreshed and rebuilt siding. Got to pick up some ballast, empty ballast cars, take them up to Pleasanton, so we'll tackle that here. Train off to the left is the whole reason we're taking the Oakland sub. It's blocking everything, so that's why the dispatcher routed us on the Oakland sub. This guy's waiting to get into Oakland Yard. Going by Rusty's nuts and bolts. And looks like the lead unit is just crossing onto the new section there at San Leandro. We cut this newly track in here just about a week ago. So we got traffic coming through here now, and on the freshly laid concrete ties. Hey guys, we're now made our way down the coast sub, switched over to the new Centerville line, going underneath the BART. This is where BART goes over. It's just east of just west of the drywall plant. And this is my newly redone section. Passing by the new drywall plant here, is yet to be painted. Hopefully we'll get that done in about a week or so. But this is my newly redone section of the layout, and it actually runs pretty good. I set it up with some nice curves, and I'm more than happy with it. Still got to work on the signaling. That's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, it looks like the crew's got a red signal coming up. This is going to be on the east end of Fremont, all red. And off the left, that's going to be our pickup. We got to pick up those hoppers and take those up to Pleasanton. On the right side, we got Lake LG. Do a little work here. Conductor's got to get his butt out of the seat and make a cut. Yeah, so while we're sitting here, looks like the dispatcher's got a stack train that's coming through here. Just came off the Altamont, came out of Stockton, coming along the newly redone number 1 track. Kind of overall section of the layout was my whole goal is to make some nice curves going into this area. I'll walk up and get a little bit closer here. There goes the Duke going on by. We weren't sure why the dispatcher wasn't taking us, or the man up in the tower there, Niles Tower, but it looks like he was holding us for this BNSF train. There's actually a local that goes from leaves Richmond, it heads down to Warm Springs, and this train's coming up from Warm Springs, and looks like it's going to take the Niles up to Oakland. It's pretty common for it to be a pretty short train, some wrecks, and maybe a tank car or two, and that's about it. Well, the crew finally got a signal here, so made her cut and pull it ahead with the units and grab those hopper cars. The way I work my signals is it's pretty basic. There's a light sensor right at the points. It's right underneath the points there, and that'll get the signal to drop. I have a dispatch panel that I use for certain portions of the layout. As you can tell, just dropped just like that. And I kind of prefer that over any other system. I think it works best, especially say if you had a train where you're just shoving cars through. I mean, a lot of them need some type of resistance to detect your train, so I just find using a light sensor works fine. And the most important part is I want to know, say if a train's on the switch before I throw that switch. Now this particular control point, it gets controlled by the dispatcher, and he just gave us authority passes signal, westward movement, grab these cars here. And here we go. Now looking west through the camera here. I'll give it a little stretch. And good stretch. We'll knock off some brakes here and make the air, do a little air test, and we'll head up to Pleasanton. Okay, looks like we got everything together. It's like an 8-car pickup, empties. Since we can't get a signal here because our train's on the track, dispatcher can talk to us by the signal back to our train westward movement. Neighbor on the left, a little jealous of the guy on the right side there. His grass is pretty green up on top of the little mound overlooking the lake. Still got to put some trees in here, honestly. Making trees is probably my least favorite thing to do, but at some point I'll do it. Coming to hook here. Okay, all back together. So the way this works is we're going to head up a helix and up to the upper level, and then we'll be in Pleasanton. My Niles Canyon still needs scenery, so we're going to skip that part for today. We're still going to be working on a restricting signal. We're going kind of slow here. Okay, see you up at Pleasanton. Just went through downtown Pleasanton, crossing the bridge. We're on the old WP tracks. The SP's on the left-hand side. Cutting through Radom Junction right now. That's where on the right side, got a Y here. And that's where the SP goes up to San Ramon branch. I don't model that portion. I wish I did since I lived in that area. As a youngster, but unfortunately I can't model everything. So we're coming into Pleasanton. We're going to make a set out here. And this is Pleasanton. Up to the right, I still haven't really modeled a gravel plant to technically take the cars, but we're taking the cars anyways. And there's a cement plant off the left, and again, Pleasanton really didn't have a cement plant, but I built the kit and I sure liked it. I just incorporated it into Pleasanton. Conductors made the cut. Still a little uphill in this area, which is in real life it is slightly uphill too, going east to Livermore before you go up and over the Altamont. Interesting note on my layout is up and over layout, and in order to get up and over the Altamont I have to use, well, let's just put it this way, one powered axle can pull 2 cars. So on this train I got 3 4-axle units, so that's good for 12 powered axles times 2. That's good for 24 cars, and that's max, and that's exactly what they set up out of Oakland in order to run this train. The limit on my up and over is 36 cars before we might have a little accident, let's just put it that way. Get rid of these ballast cars here. So the other thing we got to do after this is we'll go over the Altamont. I'm going to show you that in my next video because let's just put it this way, it's just about Miller time right now. It's coming up on that 5 o'clock hour at Pleasanton. So I have a feeling the crew's going to tie it down. Just tie it down the main till tomorrow, and we'll come back and show you the rest. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope to just keep this as a 3-part series depending on how it goes. So in the meantime, hey, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you caught my first one. That'll show you the whole map of my railroad, how everything's laid out. So take care, you guys. BAC 5 Railroad, Barron Central Valley Railroad, David, signing out.